Kyle Petty.
Hi, I'm Richard Petty. Welcome to the Automotive Lift Institute Safety Training video. Now, we all know that the law of gravity is based on the assumption that the objects that go up eventually come down.
Sometimes before we would like them to.
As an automotive service professional, you can't afford to compromise your safety or take risks while performing your job.
Safety is the #1 priority in our shop, and it should be the #1 priority in yours.
So keep your eyes peeled and your ears open as we take you through all the things you need to be aware of to make each and every auto lift a safe operation.
The majority of accidents involving automotive lifts are caused by improper spotting of the vehicle on the lift, lack of inspection and maintenance, or poor operator training.
The Automotive Lift Institute has developed this safety video to show you, the auto service technician, the correct way to operate an automotive lift without causing injury or property damage.
You will be taking a written test when the video is over, so be sure to pay close attention. Now let's get to it.
Wearing the proper personal protective equipment is the first step in avoiding accidents. Safety shoes with slip-resistant soles can both protect your feet from falling objects and help prevent slipping. Earplugs or earmuffs are recommended when using loud tools and are required by law at certain noise levels. You should always wear safety glasses to protect your eyes from substances that might fall from the bottom of a vehicle. Gloves should be worn to protect the hands from burns and cuts. Technicians who work under vehicles should wear a bump cap to protect the head against protruding objects. Proper training and maintenance are the keys to safe vehicle lifting. It's the responsibility of the shop owner or manager to see that no one operates or maintains a lift without qualified training. Before we discuss proper lifting methods, let's first talk about the common lifts being used in today's automotive repair industry. Currently, surface-mounted lifts make up a large part of the total automotive lifts in use. Some surface-mounted lifts are anchored to the garage floor and are powered by an electric motor which operates a hydraulic pump and cylinder. The most popular surface-mounted lift is the two-post frame engaging lift. The swing arms travel up each post and are usually synchronized by a steel roller chain, cable assembly, or overhead hydraulic line. Lifting power is provided by a hydraulic pump and cylinders, sometimes using leaf chain or cable systems. In-ground lifts have their lifting assemblies situated below the garage floor and are manufactured to accommodate various types of vehicles. Depending on the type of vehicle and the amount of load to be lifted, in-ground lifts may use one or more plungers. Many one or two plunger lifts are used to lift passenger cars, SUVs, vans, and light trucks. Heavier capacity in-ground lifts are designed for larger vehicles, such as transit coaches and fire engines. Some in-ground lifts have been developed to contain all the hydraulic components with an enclosure. This prevents the risk of soil contamination from hydraulic leaks. The four-post surface-mounted lift is commonly found in many muffler, oil change, transmission shops, and alignment shops. It allows the vehicle to be driven onto two runways and lifted by its tires, exposing the underside of the car. This parallelogram style lift uses a lifting mechanism that moves the vehicle a short distance, fore or aft, when lifting or lowering. When using this type of lift, it's important to provide adequate clearance while raising and lowering the vehicle. The scissors lift raises the vehicle in a straight, vertical direction rather than fore or aft of its original position. Rolling or sliding jacks like these are often used on runway-style lifts. These jacks lift the vehicle off the runways for wheels-free services like alignment or brake work. Use the same care operating these jacks as you would when operating a lift. The mobile wheel engaging lift is used in fleet truck shops primarily for longer or heavier vehicles like transit buses or fire trucks. Each of the independent lifting posts is mobile and operated with a hydraulic pump and cylinder or a lifting screw. Electrical supply is interconnected between the other posts. Many brake service and body repair shops use the low-rise wheel service lift. This type of lift engages the vehicle's frame or rocker panel.
Now that we understand the different types of lifts and their use, let's take a look at the basics associated with lifting it right.
Whether you're driving cars or lifting them, knowing the basics is the most important part of your job. You can't be a pro without a safe approach. And a safe approach means knowing the basics cold. You ready?
Now let's get back to it.
Automotive lifts are engineered to lift and support vehicles and nothing else, especially people. Automotive lifts should be operated by trained technicians only. As an automotive service technician, you were trained to repair vehicles first, before you began to work professionally. The same attention should be given to lift training. If you don't know how to properly spot or lift a vehicle, don't guess. Do everyone a favor, including yourself, and get training first. An excellent guide for lift operator training is the American National Standard, ANSI, ALI-ALOIM, covering lift operation, inspection, and maintenance. Before driving a vehicle into your shop bay, be sure the lift area is free of coworkers and customers, grease and oil, tools, cords and hoses, trash, and any other debris. Never stand in the path of a vehicle while it is being guided onto the lift. You could be killed or seriously injured if the driver loses control. Customers and bystanders must not be allowed in the lift area or in the vehicle while you're using the lift. Customers and bystanders are not familiar with shop hazards and could be injured or cause an accident. Before driving the vehicle into the lift bay, always be certain the lift is fully lowered and the swing arms and adapters are positioned out of the path of the car's tires before you drive the vehicle into the bay. Running over a lift is a good way to damage the car or the lift. Never overload your lift. Check the weight of the vehicle and the lift manufacturer's rated load capacity displayed on the nameplate attached to the lift. If the nameplate is missing or the information is not readable due to wear, check with the lift manufacturer's service representative for a replacement. Now let's discuss the correct way to spot a vehicle on frame engaging lifts. The vehicle's center of gravity should be determined before lifting. The center of gravity is the point between the front and the rear of the vehicle where the weight is distributed equally. In most cases, the center of gravity on rear-wheel drive passenger cars is below the driver's seat. On front-wheel drive passenger cars, the center of gravity is generally on a line below the steering wheel. If there's any question, position the center of gravity in accordance with the lift manufacturer's spotting devices and methods. The vehicle should be positioned with the center of gravity midway between the adapters. Before lifting pickups, SUVs, vans, or trucks, make sure the vehicle's individual axle weight does not exceed 1/2 of the lift capacity. Adapters should be in secure contact with the frame at the vehicle manufacturer's recommended lift points. Special attention should be given to stability and adequate overhead clearance on these vehicles. If the truck, SUV, or van is tall or heavy on one end, the center of gravity will be seriously altered, and this could cause instability. Correct any weight discrepancies before lifting the vehicle. The flip-up, stacking, or threaded adapters on your frame engaging lift are adjustable to several positions. Be sure the adapters are secure in the swing arms before you place them under the vehicle. If an adapter is not secure, it could collapse and cause the vehicle to become unstable and fall. Many lifts are equipped with adjustable, rotating threaded adapters. Before lifting the vehicle, be sure all 4 adapters are adjusted properly. Screwing these adapters out unevenly may make the load unstable. Be aware that oil and grease can make the contact surfaces very slippery. Before placing the lift swing arms under the vehicle, inspect each arm and adapter for cracks or other signs of damage. If lift parts are damaged or operating improperly, do not use the lift or attempt to fix it. Only qualified lift service technicians should do the repairs. Now, check the vehicle manufacturer's recommended lifting points. The majority of domestic and imported car and light truck lift points can be found by referencing the Automotive Lift Institute's lifting point guide. Ensure that you have the current edition. Adapters should be positioned according to these specifications only. If your swing arm has restraints, don't rely on these devices to prevent an improperly spotted vehicle from falling off the lift. The sole purpose of the swing arm restraint is to hold the position of the swing arm after you have positioned the adapter at the specified lifting point, and before the adapter has made contact with the vehicle. A comprehensive guide to vehicle lifting points is furnished with all frame engaging lifts, shipped by members of the Automotive Lift Institute. If the vehicle's lifting points are damaged, rusted, or covered with oil and dirt, don't lift the car until these conditions have been corrected. Some cars produced after the 1992 model year may carry these labels on the vertical lock face of the front passenger door, in the glove box, or elsewhere on the vehicle. The label shows you the proper location of the vehicle manufacturer's recommended lifting points, so you will not have to look them up. The location of the lift points may also be physically identified under the vehicle with the same triangular shape. Auxiliary adapters may be necessary on vehicles such as pickup trucks and vans. These auxiliary adapters are available for most lift manufacturers. Do not use wood, concrete blocks, or other homemade devices in their place.
That was pretty cool. I hope you were paying attention to that last bit. Understanding the purpose of the swing arm restraints and obtaining a copy of the Vehicle Lifting Points Guide is truly critical.
Let's put it all together now and drive this one home as we look at the process of actually lifting a vehicle.
Once you have the vehicle properly spotted, raise the lift until the adapters contact the vehicle. Visually check to see that the adapters are contacting the recommended lifting point securely. Do not block or tie open the lift's controls. You must always be at the controls while the lift is in motion. Raise the vehicle about a foot off the ground and shake it by moderately pushing on the rear or front bumper. Visually check the lifting points again. If the adapters appear to be slipping or are not in secure contact with the vehicle manufacturer's recommended lifting points, carefully lower the vehicle and start over. Once the vehicle is secure, raise the lift to the desired height. Lower it onto the load holding device and visually check those contact points once more before going under the vehicle. Some people refer to the load holding device as a lock or a latch. Adapters must be in secure contact with the vehicle manufacturer's recommended lift points. Listen for the telltale sound of the load holding device in operation, and be sure the lift's load holding devices are engaged and working properly. If they're not, carefully lower the vehicle, inform your supervisor, tag out the lift, and seek immediate service. Drive-on style lifts require attention to different safety considerations. If equipped, ensure that slip plates and turn plate surfaces are locked before driving on the runways. It is a good idea to have another technician guide the driver onto the lift. This will ensure the vehicle is positioned properly and safely. The spotter should be forward of the vehicle, but to the side, not directly in front. Use care in wet and snowy conditions, as runways and approach ramps may be slippery. Additional care is required when positioning a vehicle in those conditions. Always put the vehicle in park or in gear, unless the service to be performed prevents it. In addition, always chalk the front and rear of at least one tire after getting out of the vehicle. Check the area before beginning to raise the lift. With tall vehicles or low ceilings, watch overhead clearance to prevent the vehicle from hitting the ceiling. Once the desired height has been achieved, always set the lift on the load holding device. Some people refer to the load holding device as a lock or a latch. If the lift is equipped with an auxiliary jack, never raise or lower the lift while the vehicle is supported by the auxiliary jacks. If your lift does not have a load holding device, or if you're working below the point where the load holding device engages, place high reach supplementary stands under the vehicle's frame or suspension for support. Make sure the vehicle stays elevated and spotted securely by avoiding shifts in the center of gravity. Removing major components such as engines, transmissions, suspension components, rear axles and differentials, body and frame components may cause a shift in the center of gravity. Remember to always use caution. When removing these components, use high-reach supplementary stands to stabilize and equalize the load. Adjust the stand saddles so that they securely contact the vehicle's recommended support points. Never lower the vehicle onto the stands. Doing so may cause the vehicle to become unstable and fall. Center of gravity shifts are also caused by torquing or loosening fasteners with a cheater or breaker bar, unexpected release of stored energy, such as removal of a loaded spring or load-supporting bolt, unequal vehicle loads, and cargo. If there is any indication that the vehicle on your lift is going to come down, get out of the way fast. Do not attempt to save it by pushing it back up. Just warn others in the shop to get away from it as quickly as possible. Run in the opposite direction of the fall, but not toward an area or object that may cause you to be trapped. Before you lower the lift, be sure toolboxes, jacks, oil drain systems, engine and transmission stands, high-reach supplementary stands, and other obstructions are moved from underneath the vehicle. Be sure that everyone is clear while lowering the lift. Don't override the hold to run controls in your lift to save time. Remember, you must always be at the controls while the lift is in motion. Before removing the vehicle from your work bay, position the lift swing arms and adapters to provide a safe and unobstructed exit. Adapters should be in their lowest position. If you're using frame contact auxiliary adapters, remove them before backing the vehicle out. For runway-style lifts, if the lift is equipped with an auxiliary jack, remember, never raise or lower the lift while the vehicle is supported on the auxiliary jack. Once lowered completely to the floor, remove the chocks and pin the slip plates and turn plates if so equipped. Use a spotter if possible, and drive the vehicle off the lift slowly. As with automobiles, the key to peak performance is maintenance. Your lift should run as flawlessly as the cars you repair. Lift swing arms, adapters, chains and cables, hydraulic systems, and electric systems must be cared for and inspected on a daily basis. Lift accidents can be caused by improperly functioning equipment. Do not operate a lift that is not working properly. These adapters should be replaced. Never, under any circumstances, disable a safety system. Repairs should be made by qualified lift service technicians only. Replacement parts should be approved by the original manufacturer. Be aware also that almost all lift components play some safety role. Removing or disabling any lift functions is likely to make the lift less safe to operate. The ALI Lifting It Right Safety Manual is a generic safety overview covering appropriate safety practices and considerations when operating automotive lifts. The ALI-sponsored Annual Vehicle Lifting Points Quick Reference Guide for Frame Engaging Lifts covers 20 years of domestic and imported vehicles. The ALI Safety Tips Card offers practical safety tips for using automotive lifts and is suitable for posting on or near each automotive lift. An excellent guide for lift owners, service professionals, and risk managers is the ANSI ALI ALOIM, an American national standard covering lift operation, inspection, and maintenance. The ANSI ALI ALIS is the American national standard for automotive lifts, safety requirements for installation and service. This document provides guidance to the lift installer and service technician. Designated to describe duties and responsibilities of lift manufacturers, ANSI ALI ALCTV is the American national standard that covers safety requirements for construction, testing, and validation. This label means that your lift was manufactured by a member of the Automotive Lift Institute, the organization that has brought you this video. This label means your lift model has been tested and validated by an independent OSHA-recognized third-party testing laboratory. Validation indicates the lift is in conformance with the current American national standard covering automotive lifts. That standard is ANSI, ALI, ALC-TV. If you have additional questions, ask your supervisor or vocational instructor and consult the lift operating manual for more specific information.
This concludes the basic operation fundamentals and safety precautions for automotive lifts presented by the Automotive Lift Institute. We hope this presentation has helped you to understand how to operate an automotive lift safely and effectively. Before we finish, Kyle has one more important point you should remember.
Although it may not seem as exciting as NASCAR racing, or perhaps firefighting or law enforcement, your chosen career does have two important elements associated with the three just mentioned. Number one, to ensure your safety and the safety of others, you must be aware of your surroundings and stay alert.
That's for sure. Pay attention at all times and keep that mind sharp. There's no such thing as routine when it comes to safety.
Number two, and most important of all, at the end of your workday, someone wants you to come home safely.
So wear your safety gear and follow the safety procedures you've seen in this video.
And if you ever feel like you've missed something, or ever need to brush up, just pop it back in and watch it again. We'll be right here for you.
Thanks again for taking the time to watch this video and making a commitment to being a safety-conscious professional. For Kyle, me, and all the folks at Automotive Lift Institute, here's wishing you good luck on the test and many safe work days to follow.
And don't forget, a safe team is a winning team.
This Automotive Lift Safety video was funded by the member companies of the Automotive Lift Institute, Incorporated.